Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to get some water. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's make sure we're all adjusted. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing today? Hello, Helen. All right. We have kiddos all done with school. We were away for the weekend, so we've had a busy week just catching up with stuff. And lots of crafting. Otherwise, it's really nice out today, but I haven't really done a whole lot other than just be at home and kind of catching up with all that stuff after the kids are all done school and getting a little bit organized at home. Hello, Jennifer. So hopefully we'll have some nice weather this weekend and we'll get out and do some stuff. I don't know if you guys have the or got the Splendid kit, and I'm not actually sure if it's still available. I'm just going to try and straighten this out a little. The Splendid kit was the June, or maybe it was that May kit. I'm just going to check if it's still available in the shop, but there's lots of Splendid still available on its own. But this is the acetate sheet, and I know that is still in the shop. So I've been looking for some fun ways to use that. I used it on a layout that we made live, and I thought I would die cut it, and it has all of Paige Evans designed that Splendid collection, so she has so many rainbow colors. Thanks, Carrie. And I thought that would be great for a rainbow. I've got a couple other ideas for this card as well, so I think I'll put a couple more together, and I'll share them once I have those together. Let's see. So it looks like the May kit itself was sold out, but there's still lots of Splendid collection in the shop if you're looking for it. And the acetate sheet is there, the sequins. So the sequin and enamel stickers, it's like little enamel dots and shapes. And so those are still in there as well. And there's some fun flower sequins in different sizes. So those are cute. And then we've got this honeybee stamps die set. So this one is called Rainbow Builder card base. And you've got the little clouds that you can die cut, the sunshine, two different size hearts. You've got a circle here that is always great circle to use, but it fits right inside the sun. These ones here, I thought I would cut everything and I'll make a scrapbook page after, and I'll probably share that on the blog. But it's a really great size that you could either use for lots of different elements. So I like having cloud and sunshine dies. You've got the two different size clouds. So that's what they kind of look like. And then if you're making, a card or a scrapbook layout, you can for sure use these on their own as well. Here's the smaller heart. I still have this cough that's kind of hanging on. And I went to the doctor yesterday and she said it's allergies. So I've got this nasal spray, but it's so just annoying. But I'm so much better than I was last week. So I'm just sipping on lots of water so that I don't have to cough. So I've gone ahead and die cut out the acetate, and the acetate is really thick. So what I found that I had to do is just use my scissors to trim around the edge because it didn't quite cut all the way through, but the mark was there. And then I've got some red line tape, but it's a really nice, good quality acetate. You can make some really great shakers with that as well. And this is what that big piece cuts out to look like. So of course, if you're just making the rainbow, so for the instance here, I cut some out of some of that Splendid paper, and I just trimmed off that little piece on the top. Hello, Joyce. It is a fun die set. And hello, I'm not going to say your name right, Trinity, and I am so sorry that I butchered your name, but welcome. And so here's one that I just cut out, and for the strips, for this one, what that I'll make later. Hello, Betty. I just went ahead and trimmed off the pieces, and then I'm going to end up, I think, ink blending them. We might do a little bit of this just depending on time. It's a pretty quick card, so I might do a little bit and just kind of show you. I read your comment last week about allergies, Betty, and I actually went to the doctor and she said that cough is allergy related. So I've got some nasal spray and some allergy medication and it is feeling better. But how annoying for myself and for everyone watching, I'm sure. But I guess with pollen and everything right now, sometimes it's unavoidable. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our die cut piece. So this is the main big piece, and I just ran this through the die cut machine. And because I'm going to cover it with this piece of acetate, which I think you could simply, like, you could completely use it like that and it looks really sweet. Hello, Gail. And then you could put on your little clouds, but I thought it would be fun to have some color peeking out behind it. So I figured we could use some of the Copics and just color in. So I'm just going to make sure I can see this on my iPad. Okay, there we go. We're just going to color in those stripes. And I'm using a pink. I took the acetate and just kind of grabbed the colors that I felt like would kind of rainbow order, but would go with these colors. And let's see, we may as well use, I think you could use either side, but I'm just going to use the large side. And we don't have to be super exact because we are going to put this over, but we'll try to kind of get it pretty close. So all I did was just lay this down and pull it along my edge. And I did come in on the other one with my white gel pen, which is always handy to have. But this is just an easy way to add some color. And it doesn't have to be blended or anything like that. And I'm just leaving the little strips. And I'm not sure, I'm going to hold it up for you. Not sure if you can see it from where the camera is right now, but there's a little impressed line like an embossed line. So you can leave that white, or you could color it in if you wanted to. So what's everybody been up to this week? Have you guys got your garden stuff all in? I need to plant some stuff. So here's just that line, and it's not, I mean, I'm not going crazy trying to be perfect. Thanks, Betty. But it's close enough. Sometimes the video does not show up on my iPad. I'm just gonna see. Can get that again. There we go. Okay, so we've got the pink, and that's in place of our red. Then we'll go with this yellow. So that pink was actually RV17. And if you were using this collection and you had some stamps or anything that you were going to add to it, you could, use any colors that matched. And then, that if you're making a page or a card, everything's going to coordinate. So then we'll go in with our orange. I do have some plants sitting on my deck that need to be planted. So that is my goal. And for the next, maybe I'll do that Canada Day or on Saturday. And for Canada Day, we're in Calgary, so sometimes, well, I guess most years, they have some activities that are going on down at Prince's Island Park. So I was thinking that maybe we would go down there and just kind of hang out and see what's going on for a little while. It was always seemed difficult to try and get down anywhere when the girls were really little, and just seemed like so much work. But they're bigger now, so it's much easier. Now, if you were just going to have this, not covered with anything, you could do a much better job of, shading and making sure you're doing it perfectly. But again, we're going to have that acetate covering it, so this is also a nice way to use your markers for coloring in white cardstock, and you're kind of customizing it. I think my marker is getting a little dry, and I'm going to have to fill it up. Let's go this way. I find with Copics, I like to have the refill on hand, because once it's dry, it's almost like once it's dry, it's like totally dry. So as soon as you feel it getting dry, it's good to re-ink it so it doesn't get completely bone dry, because sometimes it's hard to get that nib to come back after that. So there's a few more that I need to have some refills for. I need to order some in, so I should do that. And I don't have a ton of Copics, but so you can see this one has already dried up. I don't even know when the last time I used that one. So let's grab a different one. So we will have to re-ink those. Hello, Linda. How are you doing? We'll try this one instead. I have to spend an afternoon just re-inking my markers. It was hard to get the refills there for a little while, but I think, if there's any particular one that you're looking for that's not in the store, then you can just ask Sandy. And if she can get it, then she'll order it in. I colored over the line, but we're gonna cheat and use a little bit of white gel pen to fix that up. It's definitely nicer when you have a nice juicy marker. And you can use colored pencils for this as well. You're just coloring in your lines. But I'll show you how I cut out the pieces for another one that I'm not going to do it all on line today, but that I'm going to do, and you could also do that as well. Cut out the individual pieces and layer them on. Or you could cut different color cardstock and cut those out as well. So do you guys have any Canada Day plans? Or do you usually do anything, or just stay home and celebrate from home? Okay, so let's grab our gel pen and we'll just touch that up. And I don't think you would even notice once we put that acetate on, but I'm just showing you that it's super easy. Just gonna grab a piece of scrap paper and make sure this is flowing nicely. So if you weren't putting something on top and you kind of wanted to just cheat a little bit and well, it's not really cheating, but you're just sharpening up those edges. This is a number 8, and I tend to like the 10 better. I find that it runs a little bit smoother, but this is what I have in front of me right now. Okay, a little bit here. This is a nice quick card too. If you wanted to do something quickly and it's really cute. And of course you can add more if you wanted to spend more time on it. I also thought that it would be nice if you didn't put a cover on this and then you had, where did I put it? Oh, you had the glitter mark, the Nuvo glitter markers. That would be fun to add in the center of it. But we already have the gold accents on that acetate. So, okay, so that's our card. It looks pretty cute. They're not forecasting a very nice day. It might not even be nice here, but I don't know. I haven't even looked at the weather. I feel like the day just flies by. I'm just grabbing my little pokey tool here. Maybe it's supposed to rain. I don't even know. And if it rains, then we'll just stay home and do some fun things here. So I've just got some red line tape on here, and I'm just going to pull off the backing. I considered taking the backing off before I went live, but then I figured I would stick it to something and then it would be stuck, because you know that red line tape is pretty sticky. But it's pretty quick getting the backing off. So I just, if you had a full adhesive sheet, and that would have been a little bit easier, but this didn't take long. I just added this tape to where I wanted it. And the only thing I find about the tape is that, you know, sometimes that backing, it comes off pretty easy, but sometimes it's a little bit staticky. So you look down and it's stuck on you. Okay, and this is pretty thick, so I think that if you just use liquid glue, it would stick, but it's even a little bit dimensional just where it went through the die cutting machine. So that's why I wanted to have that tape, and then I'm going to reinforce it with the liquid glue as well. And that'll dry clear, so you're not going to be able to see it through. Plus it kind of helps that give you a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to try and not get my head in the way. Hello, Shelley. It's funny when you're used to, you know, crafting and looking directly over something, and then you're then trying to put something on looking at it from an angle. So I'm trying not to get my head in the camera. And it's amazing how much you kind of rely on looking at stuff at certain angles. I think that's close enough. All right, so we're going to turn it over. Now, if you're worried about some of your Copic going through, you could take a die cut piece, or you could take, just trim that off, and you could glue that on the backing if you didn't want to be able to see anything through. All right, so here's the base of our rainbow card. I think it's very cute. Thanks, Betty. Okay, now we've got these cute little clouds, and I'm definitely going to cut a bunch of these die cuts and use them on a page. So I'm thinking for my page, my layout that I'll do, and I'll post it on the blog, I'll probably use this piece because I felt like this is fun with all the rainbow colors, and then put the clouds on it and the sun, and then have some pictures to the side. It's a nice size that I think you can easily use it on a layout as well. Or you could cut it and use it on a full A2 size card front if you didn't want the shaped card. But I think shaped cards are really popular right now. I see lots of them. So I'm using a little bit of this red line tape again, just because we're going to put the bigger clouds on. You don't have to have the clouds, but I think the clouds are very cute on the bottom. And then we'll use a little bit of that glue as well. This is something your kids could do too. They would have fun doing it, or your grandkids. So this one will glue flat, and I'm just centering it. And that red line tape kind of allows your die cut to just grab a hold as well. And then I find that liquid glue, it's not going to move once it dries. So you almost have a double layer of adhesion. All right, then we have these little clouds. So you could use one or the other, but I thought it would be cute to kind of have them layered. So I'll add some foam dots just to kind of pop them up a little bit. And this paper, I don't think we have it in the shop, but it's the tonic, it's tonic paper, and I think it's called Ice Rink. But you could use anything that's kind of has a pearly finish, or you could even, if you have that cosmic shimmer pearl, opal pearl, you could rub that over your paper, die cut your clouds, and then run them through an embossing folder just to give a little bit of texture. or use a stencil that you might have and just run it through. There's the Crafting Kimmy burlap stencil would look really great, or if you have any pearl type paper, but definitely think about what you have that you could give texture with. All right, so the clouds are super cute. Then we've got our little sunshine, and I've got some glitter paper, and this I think, I think what kind, Memory Box, the book of glitter paper that has all the different 6x6 sheets in it. So this one, we're going to kind of tuck it behind, but it's going to sit right on the back. So it's going to sit kind of like that. So we're going to put a little bit of glue. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll glue that right on here. That's our little sunshine. So you can still open the card up, and then that's how the back's going to look. And I'm going to get a little wipe because I'm fitting my stuff in the glue. There we go. Okay, then we have our little heart. So we're going to pop our little heart up. And we'll pop that up. So that's going to be on your top layer, like that. Hello, Victoria. How are you doing? And then we've got these cute little sequins. So we've got different colors, and these, I think they're kind of iridescent. It looks, because let me see, there's some different colors. Yeah, there's like a purple, a blue, and an orange, but they almost change color. Thanks, Victoria. So we put blue on this one. Move those out of the way. Maybe we'll use purple. And then there's some smaller little sequin flowers here. You can get them out. So we've got a couple of different ones, and these you can either use a glue dot or, yeah, a great summer card. And I saw, Victoria, that when that rainbow came out the other day, we saw the rainbow here as well, and I hadn't posted pictures, but I did get some pictures, so maybe I'll do a layout with that rainbow, and then have this. Was mentioning that I'm going to cut all the die cuts and use them on a layout. So because this is liquid glue, and then we've got, these are almost like a plasticky sequin. What do I want here? Oh, I see that I used a couple different flowers. Okay, so I'm going to go with these flowers, but you almost have to hold it here for a minute or set something on it for a minute. So we'll do that. And while that's drying, I don't know where I put my pin, but that's okay. I'll find it in a moment, I'm sure. We'll set it to the side and see if that will just sit on there. You don't need very long, but just a little bit. I want to see. Okay, I'm getting a stamp block. We just want it to hold and grab. Here's my pin. And then I'm going to show you another idea for the card. So I thought, so this is a Crafting Kimmy stencil, and I'm not sure if this one is in the shop, but I'm sure that we have it. So if it's one that you want, and it's called Floral Fantasy, then feel free to comment, and we'll hold that for you. So what I'm going to do first, I just grabbed some ink and let's grab some colors. Doesn't even have to be those colors because we're not really using it with that paper. So we could just do more of a traditional. Need your stamp block, yes. Great minds think alike, right? Let me see, I have a red. So this is just distress ink, and this is just my idea. It may not work. So usually I do pre-do this stuff in case it absolutely doesn't work, but I think this will work. I'm doing a light coat all over. So I had die cut just out of some white cardstock and then trimmed out around those embossed lines. So we've got the larger pieces. And then I'm going to glue them on to the background. So let's see. Okay. Then I want to have a little bit of tape. That's Spellbinder's tape. There we go. Just to hold it on a little bit. So I thought this would look cute. And we'll just go over it with the same color. So because you've already have a layer of color, when you go over with the color again, you get a deeper color. And this is a nice way to do swatches as well, because it kind of gives you an idea of if your ink is layered on lighter or darker, how it looks. So I like doing this with, I like doing stamped ink swatches and then stenciled and inked swatches. So let's see. Okay, that looks cute. Okay, we'll hold that for you, Victoria. Isn't that cute? And you just want to make sure. All right, then we just want to make sure that we've got that red off the background. Could do that on a piece of paper just so I don't have to keep wiping that up. All right, and we're still pretty early, so you know what? Let's keep going. All right, so that was Candy Apple. I don't even know what is still available for ink in the shop, but I'm sure you could use oxides, you could use whatever ink you have in rainbow colors. Okay, so we'll get an orange. And then we'll check on our, I think we need a little bit more glue here. Always takes a little longer when you're not gluing, like the bottom one stuck, but if you're gluing plastic to plastic, it will stick and it'll be stuck really well once it dries, but it just takes a few extra minutes. All right. Victoria, what are you planning for Canada Day? You guys doing anything? I haven't checked the weather. Betty said the weather where she is looks like it might be rainy. So I guess that definitely will affect our plans. Okay, so there's our layer of orange. That one's carved pumpkin. Like I said that. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Victoria. But I think Canada Day could be a reason to just barbecue hot dogs for supper and not have to make a big supper. So that is exciting on my end. I'll try to save the hot dogs for like the times when I just really just don't have time to make supper, or I just feel like I need a break. Oh, this is pretty. It's just so cool how it turns out when you stencil over with that same color. All right. We will wipe the stencil off because you don't want it to transfer too much. So with Distress ink, it's just water-based and you could just rinse it and dry it. And you do want to be careful with this stencil because there's lots of little tiny detailed areas, and if you rub too hard, like you can see on this one, just bent it a little bit. There you go. Then we could go with our yellow. This one's mustard seed, so we'll do that one. Hello, Diana. So today is the last day if you're going to get in some projects for the June challenge for the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group. I like this yellow. It's nice and bright. I'm not sure how the stenciling if it'll show up, but I guess we'll find out. So food and drink is the June challenge in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group, and there is a gift certificate for the Scrap Shotz store for somebody who's randomly chosen from the entries. So if you have anything that you can submit, get that in today, and then we'll have a new challenge tomorrow. And if anybody has any ideas for a challenge for July, let me know. We haven't picked anything yet. It did turn out. It looks cute. Yeah, or the Costco burgers. I haven't tried those. Easy meal. Yeah, and I agree. Is it frozen burgers, Victoria? Or are they a specific kind? Are they the Kirkland brand? All right, so then we are going to go with, I think we'll go with like well, I don't have a turquoisey blue up here, so we'll do Salty Ocean. I'm going to skip the green, I think, and just do blue, or I could just do, you know what, let's do green and then blue, and we'll skip the purple. I want to know. So we'll get a green and a blue brush. So this one is Lucky Clover. Frozen Kirkland. I will definitely have to check that out. Hello, Tamara. Oh, you're getting pictures for the realtor. I hope that you get to do some crafting tonight too. Good for you. And when, Tamara, when does it go up for sale? It's going to be, I know that you guys have worked really hard on it, and I'm sure it looks amazing. Okay, so that's our first layer. I think you have this Floral Fantasy stencil, don't you, Tamara? I find stenciling is just so relaxing. It's just one of those things you can kind of sit in front of the TV or have a movie on, and for me it's relaxing anyways. There we go. Next week, oh my goodness. It is getting close, but you guys have done a lot. Yes, I hope that it is quick and smooth. Okay, and let's do Salty Ocean for the last one. And I love inking. I love blending with oxides, but there's something about just the original Distress inks and how bright and vibrant they are. And you don't have to set these on any specific way because the pattern is pretty random and all over. So, alrighty. So there's our last little rainbow piece. Cute, hey? It's nice that stencil just gives a little bit of texture feeling. Move this stuff out of the way. And then I thought we could do maybe put the glitter in the center. So here's our card piece that we cut out with that full panel. So you can leave it white, or we could do, I don't know, what do you guys think? We could do this glitter marker in the center. I do have, let's see here. I do have the bee shimmer, but I'm almost thinking like we could tap that on after, because if I put a lot of liquid on, and this is just cardstock, it's probably going to go a little bit wonky. Should we go for the glitter marker? I'm just going for it. So you just want to shake that back and forth. There's like a little, this one's lemon drizzle. There's different markers. There's even some new glitter markers in the shop. I have put in an order and I'm waiting patiently for it. So we'll open that up, and it doesn't matter if we go out of the lines because those strips are going to be covering any out of the lines spots. So basically I'm just going in that area, that little embossed grooved area, but I'm not worried about going out of the lines. You could also, just like we colored this one here, you could use the glitter markers to color because they're actually fairly detailed. And if you wanted to be precise and just go a little slower, then it would look really good. And I think as you craft, you kind of have other ideas. So like right now I'm thinking I could actually take the coordinating glitter marker, so a pink or a red and an orange or gold kind of one, and just do each section in a coordinated glitter color, and that would be cute. Or you could cut a panel that was some gold mirror cardstock as well and layer it over top. So lots of different ideas that you can use with this. And I just love these glitter markers. And they dry nice and quickly too. Okay, so that's my cover. There we go. And then we'll just glue on our pieces. All right. And I think rainbow cards you could use for really anything. I'm just going to smooth that out because we don't need globs of glue. but it will dry clear if any kind of smooches out. And that layered on pretty well. All right. I love rainbow colors. And there's lots of options, and I missed a little bit here with that glitter marker, so I'm just going to come back in. Lots of options with your clouds of what you could cut out. This is cute. Or you could just die cut out of any kind of paper that you like. And it doesn't have to be rainbow strips. And I still see that I need to be a little bit more generous with that glitter marker. Okay. Let's go around it right now before we put that next one on. I think I need to get some crafts and stuff out for the girls. Amy's pretty good at figuring out some stuff to do, but Erica needs a little bit of direction sometimes, or she wants somebody to sit down and do it with her. But I think having even a box of some die cuts that she can pick up when she wants to make something or when she's bored, and then you could have a bunch of rainbow stuff cut out, and then your kiddos could just put them together. Put it in a little box with a glue stick and some glitter. That would be fun. So there's our stenciled and inked rainbow. So again, you can just die cut your clouds out and add your clouds to the bottom. Oh, and I thought this is what I was going to do, is splatter on a little bit of this. So this is that Honeybee Be Shimmery Liquid Shimmer Watercolor. I think it's still in the shop. So you can add this to paints or inks, and it gives a really nice shimmer. And I'm just going to grab my water bottle, and we'll add a little bit of splatters, not too much. So just, there's a little bit of water on there. I've got my paintbrush, and we'll see if this works. And because the Distress ink reacts to the water, you're going to get a little bit of that reaction as well as the shimmery. I was thinking about painting this on, but I thought because of the Distress ink, it would probably just smudge it. So I think splattering it is the best idea. Okay, I can see that here. I'm going to hold it up. And then you could go ahead and, you know, put whatever you want on. You can add some hearts and, oops. Okay, and then for this one, let's add a little bit of a center. Maybe we'll do the yellow center. There we go. All right. Yeah, and then I'll add the rest of the details on. I like the gold in the center. Kind of just looks cool. And then if you can see, yeah, there you can kind of see it. Those little shimmery splatters just to give a really neat effect. And then you have this cute little rainbow card. There's a really nice sentiment set from Honeybee Stamps that's rainbow. That's really cute if you don't have any rainbow sentiments. And it has the dies that cut around the words and they look really cute. Thank you guys. And there's our finished acetate card with all the details. So yeah, they were really, really fun, easy to do. We're even done before the hour. How often does that happen? But anyway, I hope that you guys have I think you're all Canadian, but if anyone's watching from the US or different countries, have a happy Friday. And I hope all our Canadian friends have a really good Canada Day. Carrie, it's Floral Fantasy, Craft and Kimmy. I'm going to see if it's in this shop. If you want one, let me see here. I'm just going to look because not all of the stencils I don't think were in the shop. So if you want one, you can just comment and I'll get Sandy to hold that for you or send it with your order. It's called Floral Fantasy. It's Craft and Kimmy. And it doesn't look like it's in the shop right now, but feel free to mention that you would like it. Or you can email Sandy or whatever. Yeah, and don't forget that there's a Canada Day blog hop that's happening tomorrow. Scrap Shotz is a sponsor of it. And there's lots of different Canadian talent that's going to be doing a YouTube hop. So the information on that is, we'll post the link in the morning, but the information about where to start tomorrow is on the Scrap Shotz Facebook feed. And so you can just click on that link. It's 9 a.m. Eastern, so 7 Mountain Time, and just hop along. I'm not sure exactly what the details are, but I'm sure you probably have to comment, and then they'll pick winners at the end. So it's always a fun Canada Day hop. So be sure to check that out tomorrow. And yeah, you're welcome, Carrie. And have a really great weekend. All right, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks, Victoria. Thanks, Carrie. Happy Canada Day. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.